Hello, welcome back to the Autonomous Developer Sync. We actually have a pretty packed agenda today. So actually, why don't I put that up on the screen here? Sorry, delay. Cool. All right. Why don't we start with introducing our newest team member? Meek, would you mind taking 20, 30 seconds? Tell us who you are, what you're doing, where you're from.
Yeah, hi. I am Amik. I'm the new head of product here at Autonomys. I live in New York City. I've been in the blockchain space for a while, discovered Bitcoin in 2013 and kind of never looked back. And so I'm really excited to be here. I love the team so far. It is the early days still, but there's going to be a lot of really great product things, I think, on the horizon coming, especially with mainnet. And 2025 is going to be big. So I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. It's been a position we've been, looking for the right person for a long time. So glad to have you on the team and help move us forward. All right, next conference season. So it has, I was looking at the calendar this morning and realized, we will have done by the end of this week 3 conferences in the last 4 weeks. And then we are also planning, kind of looking forward as well. So as was mentioned last time, we had quite a presence at Token 2049. I did quite a few events. I know Ning was there and really getting to know some of the community. So that was great. Last week we had Todd and Mika's his first kind of official start to the job. We're attending Masari Mainnet. This week I'll be at Permissionless along with Chris. So if anybody's there that's watching this video and wants to get together and discuss all things autonomous or blockchain or AI or whatever running, I'll be there to do that. And then we're still in the early stages of planning, but we will be having some amount of presence at DevCon next month in Thailand. So keep your eyes peeled for more details on that. So with that, I want to hand over to Jim to talk about ecosystem updates, hot topics.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, and we were discussing internally, weren't we, that if we find anyone at DevCon who's wearing some of the legacy merch, we'd love to connect and get some pictures with you. Okay, from ecosystems. So last week we held our signature event, the Autonomous Unveiled stream. It was on YouTube. We took it as an opportunity, or we used it, sorry, as an opportunity to celebrate our journey and really kind of hammer home the points, the legacy that we built in the Gemini phase, the Gemini testnet phase. We also unveiled the snazzy new website, which is on autonomous.xyz or Z. And yeah, if everyone could give it a check out, we are looking to kind of debug any links that are broken, any kind of typos you find, please do report them to us. We will address them as quickly as possible. And on that call, actually, we teased some big bang initiatives. These are some exciting engagement initiatives, give everyone something interesting to do, of course, between the end of the incentivized testnet and mainnet launch, which I think we're going to talk on a little bit later. Yeah, so keep your eyes open because we will be releasing the first barrage of big bang initiatives this week. Okay, also, we kicked off the community rewards audit. So we have been promising the Astral rewards checker for a while. I think Mark may be speaking on that. But what we did want to do was just kind of get the data that's going to drive that, the back-end data, the actual rewards data into the hands of the community as soon as possible, so we can, so everyone gets a chance to check it and double check our calculations, and let us know if there are any concerns or questions. So please do help us out. The community audit, of course, is only going to be as good as the amount and diligence, or the number and diligence of our community who participate. And of course, once we launch the network, we can't change those balances. They're going to be in the change spec. I think that's how it's going to work. And yeah, I spent some time this weekend in the community in Discord answering questions. I was expecting a bunch, and I'm expecting more. So please do reach out if you've got any questions or concerns, or you're just wondering, how did this work? There's a GitHub page, which is on actually the Subspace Foundation GitHub. It's linked in the announcement in Discord. If anyone can't find it, do give me a shout. But in there, I've added a couple of diagrams to explain the structure of the rewards. But if you do have questions, I'll just keep beefing that up to try and make it as clear as possible. A question that we're getting quite a bit at the moment is about peace caches. So we did a deep dive on farmer office hours week before last. So last week we had Autonomous Unveiled. The farmer office hours from the week before had a peace cache deep dive. I took my notes because we're still seeing some questions. I took the notes from that call and created a forum post. So take a look. If it's still something that's you're a little bit shaky on understanding what it's all about, hopefully that lays it out. But again, ask a question under the forum post and we'll try and get you the answers that you need. Something exciting. This week, we are going to have a Farmer Office Hours special edition. We are going to be running the Nano Space Race. I did mention this in Discord at the weekend for those who were on there. This is an appeal for attendance. Don't worry, I'll be making it in a couple of places as well, because we need your assistance. So what we're planning on doing is essentially running through a dress rehearsal mainnet launch. And we'd love as many farmers who have the time and the ability on the call to join us and try and smash Space Race target live on the call. So participating is going to be a little bit more technically complex than just running up Space Acres, but we'll provide some instructions before the call and we'll be able to support on the call. This is a great way, of course, for you to build understanding about how that launch process is going to look and how it works, and develop some muscle memory alongside the team on how mainnet phase 1 launch is going to look and go down. We do expect it's going to be a bit more of a manual process than the real launch, so expect the experience to get slicker. And I think Daria is going to speak a little bit more on the dress rehearsal. But that's everything from Ecosystem for the minute. Thanks, Jeremy.
Great. I did have a question. You said you were fielding questions on some of the rewards. Is there anything that's popped up of interest that's specific?
No, don't worry, Jeremy. There's been no kind of a questioning of our calculations. There's been a number of questions about why didn't I get Stake Wars rewards? And it's because you didn't participate, or maybe you participated in a different phase. If you just nominated, for example, you're only going to see phase 2 rewards. So yeah, nothing major. Don't worry, you'll be getting the ping in Slack if if I find any problems.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So moving on to mainnet prep, Daria. Are you here?
Oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Well, the major thing is what Jim was just talking about. We have scheduled the farmer office hours on Wednesday to kind of build and public test in public, as we have always done, and try to build our own muscle memories on launching. So this is going to be almost the whole process of the day that is going to come. There's going to be a little more involved than the final product, because we're still, well, as you can see, testing and fleshing all the things out. So it's probably going to be like from a branch, but you'd be able to like download an executable, We'll give you the commands, the bootstrap node, the thing that you have to specify, all of that. And we're going to try to do the whole thing as real. So like first, like selecting that Bitcoin block for proof of time seed, like we did in Gemini 3H, inputting it in the timekeeper, starting a timekeeper, starting a farmer, starting an RPC, then allowing everybody else to connect and setting up some kind of really symbolic space race target so that we can see that the mechanics still work, like, I don't know, 100 gigabytes or something, so that we can collectively beat it during the call or shortly after, and just hope it all goes well. So yeah, please come, please do participate. You don't have to put a lot of storage, like 5 gigabytes is probably more than enough, because it's not going to be a long running testnet. It's really just for the day of purposes. And if all of that goes well and there are no bugs, we're gonna maybe do a couple of more of those, and we'll be in much better position on the day we actually launch. There are still a couple of things that we're working on, and one of them is there's like a little bug on GPU plotting, which is not compatible right now with main, which we're also working on, and collecting rewards. So as soon as communities feel satisfied with all of the rewards, we can package them up into a chain spec and actually try to launch this. So very excited.
It is getting real. So, like,
By day,
words.
by day,
Yes. So it's been a long
by
time
hour.
coming. Nazar, do you mind giving a quick update on GPU plotting update? Maybe just discuss a little bit what it is, what the bug that was introduced is.
Yeah, first of all, the background, lots of people have tested the CUDA support in latest releases. That seems to work. And there were some test builds for the ROCm support. We discovered that 5000 series Radeon cards are not working, so something like 5700. But 6 and 7000 series, so cards like 6800 or 7600, they seem to work. There is still some cleanup to be done before we merge it, but generally it's functional. There was a change in actually Ethereum specifications some while ago, and that change was switching numbers representation from little endian to big endian, and the library we were using for KZG and some other things was actually little endian for some reason, all the way until something like January. So when we upgraded the library, the default actually became big endian, and we decided to switch to be aligned with Ethereum. However, our plotter was designed to work with little endian numbers. So we just need to fix up a little bit our plotter on the GPU side to also work with big endian numbers. And that is the incompatibility issue that Daria mentioned. Shouldn't be a big deal. We should probably fix it maybe this week or next week. That is the thing that is a blocker, basically.
All right, moving on. Mark, you want to update us on where we are with Astral and the run up to mainnet?
Yeah, so as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, we started migrating from subsquid to subquery all the R indexers. So that migration is finished. I just merged one of the last one. I think we're just missing staking to merge. Now the part that was left was to connect the Explorer to these new indexers, like tables, names, and everything. Like a lot of change was to be done. So that has been done and completed this morning. There's probably like a few bugs that will come out, but it shouldn't be major. The Explorer itself should be functional once we deployed all the indexers on our staging server and then production server and connect everything. That will allow us to deploy indexers for mainnet as well, or other testnet if we want, much more easily. So that will be easier for the mainnet to have the Explorer working with the mainnet, obviously. And after that, I'm going to go back to, now that we have all the tokens rewards calculated and stake wars one calculated, today and tomorrow likely I will work on the actual page to calculate the rewards. I mean, most of the UI and the components are done. It's just linking them to the latest CSV files of these rewards. Yeah.
Great. I'm curious, in your migration from Subsquid to subquery, and you did all the back end stuff, and you're talking about doing the front end. How helpful was tools like Cursor in creating that front end migration?
Extremely helpful. I mean, Cursor. Yesterday, I was just watching Lex Freeman podcast with the four employee of Cursor, and it really. I mean, it does understand very well what you're currently thinking of or doing, right? So if you're on a file and you're just, like I was saying, quite often it's just changing the name of the tables, or right now it's like all the property and the GraphQLs are all in camel case, right? And before we were using snake case. So just small change, but across so many files, and Cursor really understand very quickly that, oh, now your table has a S at the end and it starts with, staking or consensus, and it does the whole file, and you're just pressing tabs, and it goes through. I mean, so things like that are very helpful, while Copilot wasn't really doing things this way, or it will work on the current line you are, but it won't, like, it will completely ignore the fact that the whole page is full of all those little examples that are very easy, while Cursor will just jump from one line to the next one that needs to be changed. Yeah, I can't wait. They were saying that Tabs will eventually even switch files, knowing that it has to do the change on different files as well. That would be amazing. So yeah, very helpful to use the best tool possible for the job, for sure.
Amazing. All right. Next we have Auto Drive. I know Carlos has just been crushing getting this out very rapidly. I think you have a demo for us today, Carlos.
Yeah. I have a demo. I could tell you the latest changes. Here. I'll share. Yeah, I'll share my screen. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this is Auto Drive that, as you can see, it's like quite similar, like to a Google Drive interface. Currently, we are supporting the upload of files and folders, almost up to 10 megabytes or so. But we are working right now for increasing this limit to 1 gigabyte or so. And basically works like a Google Drive, or similar. Basically, you, for example, go to one folder that you want to upload. You get the folder. It's uploading. Should be some kind of feedback here. Yeah.
Live demo are always the best.
Demo gods.
Yeah. Filter. Okay. Let me. Yeah, I think there's some kind of issue with the authentication token that sometimes doesn't refresh. Okay, but should work right now. Here is one. Okay. Now it's uploaded. Basically, what is occurring here is that there's the upload is like divided in two phases. Like, firstly, is uploaded to the cache server or the backend, and then this upload is published on chain. So that's why you first see that has been added to your files, but then you see this uploaded message. Now that you can, yeah, it's been added, this one. And also some cool functionality that we've added is that since the nature of the blockchain is public, you could see all the files that has been published on chain using this switch button. Whenever you switch this one, the files that has been added to the blockchain, you can see here. You can see here. And for example, to see this better, I'll sign in with another profile. And when you hit the global button, you will see all the files that has been added. You could see here. Okay. Okay. For example, for this one. Okay. Never mind. And also, for example, you could download the files here. They would be could be uploaded then in a zip file, and for the files, the file would be the file itself. Also, we're working as well on increasing the on increasing the limit for the file size. And we're working in some foreign details, like seeing the metadata on the on-chain metadata in the application, and yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
So this is like a drop-in replacement for IPFS. So a developer could build on Nova, like an NFT collection, and link it to metadata that exists on consensus chain, and everything will be fully on chain permanently. Correct?
Yeah, that's the case. We are publishing like the files in a kind of similar way to the IPFS format. It's based also in IPLD, but we have some custom fields and custom metadata for like enhancing some functionality. But yeah, it's a really similar and an improvement.
Awesome.
That's great. I know it's always demoing things that are in very active development is always a bit of a harrowing experience. So thank you.
I was trying to show you some feature that I added that is like checking the metadata, but it's not currently yet merged. So that's why it failed.
So just to kind of give an overview, what we've been seeing is Auto Drive, which is like a front end. There'll be a caching layer that's kind of a database that's quick access. It also is showing that it's uploading to the blockchain, which, just like any blockchain, you can upload data to it. But one of the things that isn't just like any blockchain is eventually that data is going to get archived into our DSN. And so another avenue of work that's happening right now by Tior, who's not here, has been what we refer to as object mappings. And so what that's going to allow is that once that data that's been uploaded, say with a system remark, which is what Carlos was showing, it's going to get to a depth in the blockchain where it's now time to archive and be available for instance, for like plotting that it'll get disseminated throughout the DSN. What those object mappings do are going to take that specific object that was uploaded and tell you where to go find it in the DSN. And then we'll be able to gather that data, add that to the front end, or part of the metadata to the object that says if for whatever reason in this cache it's not available, we can go out to the DSN and reconstruct it from there. The DSN, as everyone knows, is absolute permanent storage. So as opposed to things like Filecoin or IPFS, where that data could disappear through time. That will not be the case here. So there's a lot of progress being made there. I know Tior is currently working on incremental object mapping, so not needing necessarily to wait for something to be archived, but to have just gotten into the right depth before we can kind of know where it's going to be located in the DSN. Creating RPCs so that we can fetch the data from the DSN easily. So he's making a lot of progress there. So looking forward to seeing the full, integration of this front end piece with this depth that is happening in the DSN, and seeing that next month or so. Yes, Daria.
I mean, apart from the front end, I think you guys also really in like an SDK, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Good, Carlos, you want to talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, we built a new package into the SDK. Basically, the main feature of this SDK right now is to chunk and format a file into the IPLD format that we've created. And also like the metadata handling, like creating it and modifying it and converting into the IPLD format is like the main features that it have.
Ultimately, while the front end is nice, we know that a lot of people are going to want to be able to build on this kind of data layer of ours, and they're going to want an SDK, and so that developer interface is going to be extremely important. Yes, Emil.
Yeah, talking about the SDK, if you're curious to learn more, we've just last Friday, merged the large PR, which introduced the SDK documentation to our pharma documentation. So yeah, if you're curious to learn more, feel free to drop by the documentation, give it a read, give it a try. There is a few coding examples, and basically all the current functions that SDK is currently exposing, it's already available there.
Amazing, Emil. And I know, Emil's working with our developer community and what the kind of next steps there. And I know hackathons are on the way, and a lot of fun things to be happening. So go out and start learning, get a head start, I think, on how to develop on top of Autonomys. All right, finally, some other work that we've been doing that's maybe more product R&D. I would say is agent experimentation. So in building out some autonomous agents. Right now, it's kind of been very experimental phase, experimenting with different frameworks such as like AutoGen and LangGraph, and experimenting with different use cases. So right now, there's it's very much a toy, but kind of a content creator agent that goes through this whole process of taking some sort of topic and generating some specific type of output. It's then got reflection that will then kind of grade and say, was that output any good? And kind of this iterative process that happens to hopefully end up with something useful. Kind of next steps on that are really thinking about what can be done with that within the Autonomys ecosystem. Integration points, potentially with Auto ID and Auto Drive, and kind of creating this like holistic content creation stream that would have provenance and all kinds of fun, that potentially monetization and all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, I see that there's been some other things. Jim, is this you? Or no, this is, oh, I see, you're just giving instructions.
Sorry, stage directions.
All right, so yes, we do need I might as well just say what he was adding, that we need to add some links here, docs and such.
They'll be under the recording. So if you're catching up later on, don't forget to like and subscribe, but also check out the links that are going to be under the video.
I really need to get better at the like and subscribe piece on this here. I feel like that's like a necessity for every YouTube creator, right? So
my kids have taught me it.
okay.
Quick question for you, Jeremy, for the agent. I gave it a try over the weekend to write tweets, but can it do long form as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great. Maybe add a link to that as well, Jim. While we're talking about links, add to the Autonomys agents repo. All right. With that, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you all back in 2 weeks. Thanks.